people don't understand, for me, I end up talking a lot of poker, specifically with Mike, Ben, and a couple of other guys. We talk about a lot of hands, and we're very like-minded.
What's up, guys? Jeff Gross here, and today I want to talk to you about VPN. So my choice for VPN is Private Internet Access. They are in the industry for over 10 years, 30 plus million downloads. They use open source, and it is a unbelievable platform that is available on iOS, Android, Windows, Mac OS, all the major ones. You can take a look here and see 84% off right now. If you click on the link below in the video, you can see that with the 3-year deal, you get 2 months free, 84% off, and 30-day money back risk free. So again, up to 10 devices you can use. It's really clean, really easy. There's so many reasons. Banking, whether you're doing crypto, you're traveling, you just want to have a VPN. I highly recommend it. And I really can't say enough about the product. And if you're doing anything on the internet or traveling, you want to have a VPN, and this is my clear choice.
I had to teach Mike that, he thought he was number 2,000 in the world at No Limit Hold'em because he thought all these kids are better than me. And I'm like, no, dude, they're not better than you. And then once that kind of sunk, once he started going deep all the time, he's like, man, all these guys are making mistakes. And I'm like, he was afraid of the mass. And I'm like, dude, there's 500 kids that you think are better than you, and you just played with 100 of them and you realize you're better than all 100. He's like, well, maybe there's one guy that's better than me. The point is this, that it's easy to lose confidence. And I like the method that I use I continue to just keep getting there. I mean, the last No Limit Hold'em tournament I played at the series, I final tabled it, and I think I finished 6th. That hurt, by the way, but I made it to 6th, and Mike finished like 27th or something, I remember. So we do talk Hold'em a lot, but no one I talk about heads up with no one, not one person on the planet. And every time, people want to talk about it with me, I just change the subject quickly. Because when it comes to heads up, I don't want to hear other people's opinions. I just keep winning and winning. I went public saying I've won 23 out of my last 25 matches against pros. How
much for 1 hour of Phil Hellmuth heads up coaching? Is it on the table, or is it not? There's a price for not available?
Maybe I would talk to if a billionaire came to me, or someone who's not a pro came to me and said, hey, I want to, but also it's not like they can necessarily do what I do anyway, right? Because my game is so read dependent. I had played Antonio in 2 other matches. So those matches were not, we played 4 hours and 4 hours. We played a long time, at least 4 hours in each match. That's 8 hours. Plus I rewatched both of those matches at least once. That's 16 hours. So call it 20 hours of looking at everything that he does. 20 hours of, is he weak? Is he strong? And then, that 20 hours of just focused on one person and have confirmation with video on when you're right or wrong. You really get deep in what someone else is doing. And then, that's the difference between, I just think he's super strong. Could he have had ace 10? Sure. When I had king jack, and then it's fair fight. Could he have like 4s? Sure. I don't think 4s. My read was pretty strong, and maybe that was 9s. Okay. All right, then I missed a flip or whatever, but I avoided disaster twice, potential disaster twice. The site I was talking to said, hey, listen, I think we should greenlit Poker Brat the movie. Now that movie, Hayden Christensen.
Which one?
My movie, Poker Brat, which we wrote in 2002. Ashton Kutcher was committed to play me. And then Hayden Christensen was committed to play me. And we went to Hayden Christensen just after Star Wars. So he was massive. He played Darth Vader, as you know. And then and we went to him, and to have a movie made, you need to have 40, I like to say 44 things. And we had 43 checked off. Location, money, everything was there. We just needed Hayden to say yes. And he said no, and did Jumper instead, the movie Jumper. And which I like the movie Jumper. They never did a second or a third like I was hoping they would. But he said no for that reason. And so then So boom, and it's just, that's how close it is to having a movie made about your life. Now it's 14 years later. Now ESPN has come to me 10 times and said, you want to do the movie on our network? And I keep saying no. But there's eventually Poker Brat is going to be made.
Phil, this is great news though. Think about how much better it's going to be with 14 more years of stories, experience, and accolades. Everything's meant to be. That's.
And did you see the movie The Last Dance? I mean, you saw the Michael Jordan series.
It gives you chills. You don't even have to know.
So they're talking about doing a 10-part series or whatever on me. They have all this footage going back to the 1980s. And so if I sign with a site deal, then we'll do something like that. Of course, Jordan's was way up here. Mine will be down here, but it should be entertaining. It's never going to be boring. So I came in all prepared for everything except the match, and I played really badly the first 2 hours, and Daniel played great. And then I almost busted, got myself low, down to whatever, 4,000 in chips, to his 96, whatever it was in that range. Some people said less than that. And I came back and won. And then so I said the second match, I'm not going to make that mistake. And I watched the first match, and I said, oh my God, he's not calling me very much. So I must have bluffed him 40 times in the second match, maybe 45. It was pretty crazy. I'd limp in with 9 deuce, and he'd raise it, and I'd be like, he has nothing. He'd make it 1K, I'd make it 5,000. He'd fold, I'd just fold my hand. Let me
interrupt you for 1 second. Like the Apex Predator stuff, we know you got it in you, and at this point, no one can say anything, whatever they want. You're crushing heads ups. When you fold King 10 or King Jack and Antonio's King Queen, when you limp re-raise 9 deuce, are you so? Obviously, you're one of the best at live reads and just presence, of course. But are you saying in those particular instances, are you reading Antonio for strength or Daniel for weakness in that particular instance, like with the face mask on? Is it how they do their chips? Like, don't give me exactly how, but is that like what you're saying? Is it intuition? What kind of things do you go off of when you make close reads like that? Like, what are some of the things that you are weighing?
I remember limping in with the King Jack. It was like 3 matches ago or something, and I remember limping in and him raising it, and I'm just like, oh my God, he's just so strong. He's so strong here. I just know he's strong. I just folded it, And then I remember same thing with King 10, and I was kind of laughing a little bit because right now, these guys have all these, universal laws, I like to call them. This is exactly how you play. You can never fold King 10. You can never fold King Jack, especially if you limp. And I folded them both. Well, I went back to a version of online poker, right? Played on an app, and I won almost 1.6 million on this app. And, I took, 2 months, 3 months off from the app. And I'm kind of in the middle of taking 7 or 8 weeks off from the app. So it's been a really nice, 1.55 million picked up on this app, which is pretty cool. And so online poker came back into my life. Also, there's a lot of positives. I mean, a lot of the business I've been involved in have flown. I was able to get a piece of Prize Picks. You're in Prize Picks, and that company we were in to get great valuations, and now they're worth between 100 and 150 million. You're up at least 3x in your money, maybe 4 or 5x. And so Prize Picks has been fun. It's pretty cool. You can pick over and unders on this app in whatever state you live in. We're probably in 35 states. And so it's brought a lot of business opportunities because I've had more time to talk about business, focus on business. I've invested in a lot of business stuff, and then, I'll do a lot of events on Zoom, right? So, my agent will charge somebody $10,000 for me to be there for half an hour or 45 minutes or an hour. Sometimes it's less than 10, but in that neighborhood. And then I never see I guess all the checks go through my agent. They end in my account somehow, but the point is, so I've been doing a lot of that stuff. That's actually been fun. And I like to provide value. If someone hires me for 45 minutes, I tell them the day before, I'm going to give you an hour. What am I going to do? I'm sitting around at home anyway. Might as well give them an extra 15 minutes. I always do that. I always go the extra mile. So, my mom had this thing on her bathroom mirror when we grew up, and just imagine, to set the setting for you, we had 4 bedrooms upstairs. And so I had a bedroom, my brother had a bedroom, my parents had a bedroom, and my 3 sisters shared a bedroom. So 7 of us. So we're all using the same shower. There's only one shower in the house. We're all using the same bathroom. And on that bathroom, there was something that said, you are what you think, you become what you think becomes reality. And she kept that up there. And then every like couple of years, it would get all yellow and she'd throw it away. And there's a new one. But it always said the same thing. You are what you think, you become what you think becomes reality. And so from a very early age, I thought I could shape my own reality. And I understood more intuitively because of my mom, that I could do some of these, that I could really think big and do big. And I just felt like, and so that kind of helped. And then as I started, as in my early 20s, you go from, no self-esteem. My grades were bad. I wasn't an athlete, to winning the main event. And it's a big mind fuck, and it messes you up, because all of a sudden you're the man. And I was winning all kinds of other events too, so it wasn't just that one. And so that adjustment, and then but you had to think big to get there. So before I started doing all this stuff in my early 20s, I wrote down all of these things. And a lot of them are in my book, Positivity. One is write down your lifetime goals. That's a chapter in my book. 2, write down your yearly goals and tape them on your bathroom mirror. So you at home listening, that's your 2021 goals. Then tape them, take a day or two to make sure they're in the perfect order and whatever, and tape them on your bathroom mirror. And the number of people that come up to me and say, oh my God, I hit my number 1 and my number 2 goal because of you, Phil, is just growing exponentially now as I get the word out that it's a really good methodology. Write down your 2021 goals and put them on your bathroom mirror. Every morning you leave more focused, right? And so, for me, JG, positivity is just 8 life tips, right? And I told you the long-term goals, write them down, the short-term goals. And, and it changed my life, those. And so, when I finished, you can see Poker Brat there. What I did is I wrote Poker Brat first. And then the minute I was done with Poker Brat, I had Positivity out within 6 months, because that's just taking the information from the inside of the book, kind of like Ayn Rand, talking about Atlas Shrugged, and then taking all of the philosophy out of it and putting it in a book. Except my book's very simple. 8 life tips. It takes 70 minutes to read. And I believe all 8 life tips will help everybody on the planet.